This is why we need Homestead twice a year. Hey, it's me, Jimmy D, and welcome to this week's NASCAR race review and analysis. I got a bunch of notes. We're going to talk about the finish, how amazing Homestead really is, and just there's some surprising things that are happening this season that, to be honest, I never would have expected. First off, William Byron wins this race. Did not expect William Byron, but we had a lot of people up front racing for this win. Roush Fenway came to play today with Chris Buescher. I mean, even Ryan Newman there fighting up. If it wasn't for a pretty bad restart that Chris Buescher kind of got stuck in the middle, almost went 5 wide, and started to fall back. But the race started with Denny Hamlin getting sent back to the rear because NASCAR not liking something that was done to the car, so they made him start from the rear. And to be honest, we didn't really hear from Denny Hamlin at all this race. He did also sped on pit road and rallied back to an 11th place finish, but overall, I expected Denny Hamlin to be right there up front battling, and the people who were up front were not the people that I expected. Team Penske started off pretty strong. Joey Logano led, Brad Kay led, and overall they seemed to be on the track to do a dominating race. But as the time went on and that night started to come and the more grip came into the track, they faded. And in fact, Joey Logano finished 25th. That's just strange. I mean, I'm not the biggest Joey Logano fan, but that's definitely strange. I want to give props to Fox, hands down. I mean, I'm just going through my notes here, and there's so many things I mentioned of how Fox is doing a brilliant job with the broadcast this year. This reminds me of back in like 2009, 2008, when Larry, Daryl, and Mike really were like killing it in the booth. We had great pre-race shows. The calls itself were entertaining and fun. I mean, the 2009 All-Star race is by far one of my favorite calls, especially the last 10 laps when Ryan Newman, just where did he come from? So Fox, just round of applause to you guys. You are really killing it. I mean, some of the camera angles, directing wise with the cameras, I feel like that could be a little bit better. But as a show and as an entertainment value and broadcast of the NASCAR, you guys are really killing it. I do like how Fox is also broadcasting and interviewing people that we really wouldn't. And we got Andy Petrie interviewed by Jeff on the radio, and that was just awesome to see. Like, these little moments really add to the broadcast, and I really think it is something else. Chris Buescher, this 17 car, I mean, it honestly reminded me of Roush Fenway from 2012 with Kenseth and Edwards. I mean, they were really good there in the middle stage, the end of the first stage into the second stage. Buescher did a fantastic job. It was great seeing Buescher run up front. Unfortunately, due to, like I said, that restart did start to fade. Hendrick killed it. They had a fantastic race. All 4 cars at one point were in the top 10, top 6, with, of course, Byron winning. You have Bowman doing well, Larson doing really well as well. I have to say, there are other teams that are starting to pull up. I mean, I really love how we have so many different teams putting out competitive cars. Every year, the past few years, we've had pretty dominant, like 3-4 drivers. And it will probably be like that at some point this year. But so far, these first 3 races, there's cars up front battling that I did not expect. Kyle Busch also struggled. At one point, Kyle Busch even said over the radio how Harvick came out the pits with him, and Harvick had him just drove away for a whole straightaway. And he is very frustrated with his cars, and rightfully so. He did rally back up to the top 10, but again, definitely struggled. The amount of green flag passes at Homestead, fantastic. The 550 horsepower package, it looks great here at Homestead, and this is really why we need a second Homestead race. It is really, this is the type of racing people want. They want the door-to-door battling, multiple grooves, driving, and we don't want Kansas of last fall again, where like Harvick just can't pass Logano even though he clearly has the fastest car because of the dirty air. People were able to pass. It might not have been the best, but people were still able to pass. You had a lot of lead changes this race. You had a lot of people battling. I mean, Reddick charged and was just taking off a half a second a lap. I mean, he gained 8 seconds in traffic over the course of 18 laps. That is phenomenal. Especially just for Reddick. I mean, that is just amazing. That is just amazing. Cars were really loose today. I mean, they were sliding. I mean, Chase Elliott came off the corner once and just almost took off Brad's nose. I mean, it was... everyone was sliding. Everyone was loose. Of course, the cars came to people later on. But again, still very loose today. Byron did sweep the stage 2 because Hamlin, don't know if he got tight or he really pinched... he really pinched Truex. I mean, over the radio, and Jeff and Clint said that Hamlin said, if he pinched him, I'm sorry. If, my man, you didn't. You just straight pinched him. I mean, you drove him up into the wall, pretty much. And I understand why Truex was mad. As I said, Penske really struggled late in the race. But Stewart-Haas, they struggled very early, but they rallied up. We had Cluster and Harvick really drive up into the top 5, top 10, and really do well. Their cars really came to them as the night went on. And to be honest, I didn't think Harvick's car was going to come to him. He struggled pretty much all of stage 1 and the majority of stage 2. It was just right there in that last run of stage 2 that he started to gain that momentum. Speaking of surprises, Michael McDowell, my dude is killing it. He finishes in the top 10 for 3 races. Him and Harvick are the only drivers to have done so. Again, Hamlin was the other one until this race. Michael McDowell, you are killing it. You are driving the wheels off of that thing. To put this 3-week span on it is really, really well done. Some notable finishes: Chase Elliott finished 14th. Brad K, like I said, struggled there at the end with Team Penske, 16th, and Logano 25th. Definitely not the run they really hoped for, especially there at the beginning of the race. But it is so good to see different cars battling in the top 10 and just all over. That, first of all, like, that is why I love NASCAR. I haven't missed a race in the last, 15 years. And this, the way Fox is broadcasting, the storylines, the multiple people winning the race that we didn't expect, multiple teams challenging and finishing up front. This is the passion that I had for NASCAR a while back, and it's finally showing itself again. Now, after Gordon retired, Harvick, I love seeing Harvick win races and all, but as just a viewer of the sport, it is really nice to see everyone kind of just swapping positions all over the racetrack. That is the NASCAR that I like to see, and I hope we continue to see that. It could just be Homestead, because Homestead is an amazing track. If I put this in my rating that I rate all of my TV, movies, and entertainment, I'm going to give it an 8.5. This race just was enjoyable from beginning to end. I know NASCAR has really been throwing some cautions to the wind because of wetness or stuff, and really changing the outcome of the races, but I'm really glad they didn't do it this week, because 1, that is wrong. 2, we had a fantastic showing without needing a caution. So thank you guys so much for watching. Come join our Discord. Link to that is in the description below. Would love to have more conversations with you about the race. Hope to see you guys next week as we head over to Las Vegas. It's going to be an awesome race. Look forward to seeing if this type of racing really continues or if we go back to the non-passing dirty air. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this week's race. Would love to hear your thoughts. Who did you think was going to win? And what did you think of William Byron winning his second race in his career? So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And like always, I will see you in the next one. Later.